What's going on, everyone? Wow, what an absolute choke job. What an incredible game, first off. Start there. What a great back and forth game. The fact that Miami was, even in this game, as poorly as Jimmy Butler played, as poorly as Bam Adebayo played, Duncan Robinson had two opportunities to be the hero and save the day and just missed them both. I mean, wide open, wide open. And all you had to do was get one stop. One. They get the stop on Marcus Smart, which that went as far down as it could go and popped out. And nobody boxes out White, and he just gets the tip in, and you lose the game. And now you got to go to Boston and win Game 7. That is just wow. Wow. What a great game. Credit the Boston Celtics. They were resilient because they have been terrible closing games down the stretch. For being honest, the Denver Nuggets are running through either of these teams. I don't see either of these teams keeping up with the Denver Nuggets. Denver's been the best crunch time team. Boston is terrible down the stretch. Even in this game, they did everything they could to throw this game away. And this was a game where Miami basically did all that they could to sell this game. And Boston just was trying to outsell the Miami Heat. If you're Miami, we'll start there. If you're Miami, the way you're looking at this is like, hey, we've beaten Boston twice in Boston, right? We need to lock in. Jimmy Butler, you imagine, isn't going to play worse than he played this game. Bam Adebayo, you would imagine, isn't going to play worse than he played this game. So if you're Miami, you're looking at this and going, okay, like as bad of the game as we played, we're going to play better. And we've had several opportunities to win this game, right? We should have won this game. If you're Boston, you got to be, in your mind, you're going to win this series. If you're Boston, you got to be feeling great. Right? You've blown them out twice. You finally won a tight, close, grind out game at the end after almost blowing a lead. I think Boston is going to do it. I really do. I think Boston is going to show up. I think the home crowd is going to be in it like we haven't seen it. And I really think Boston is going to, very likely, just going to blow them out. I really do. I think they might very well end up pulling away. It might be a tight game early on. You might have a little bit of a back and forth early on. But I just think sooner or later, Boston, that crowd, I just think Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum are going to show up this game. Although there's always the possibility, especially with Tatum, that Tatum just completely disappears and doesn't show up this game. So that's definitely something to look out for. But I just think if you're Miami, I think you just gave Boston all of the confidence in the world to beat you. I think Boston is looking at this as like, we were dead in the water on numerous occasions this series. We've now forced it to a Game 7. They're the fourth team ever in history to do so. Not only are they the fourth team ever in history to do so, they're the first team to be at home in that process. So I just look at this and I just think Boston is the better team. They have more talent. They have more reliable guys over the course of a game, especially one game. And I just think if you gave me one game and you said, who are you taking? Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum or Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo? I don't think there's a person in the world that would take Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo over Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum for one game. Even Miami fans. Like, if you hook them up to a lie detector test, I think 99.99% of them would tell you, like, all right, like, I'm lying. Like, I'll take Jaylen and Jason, right? And it has nothing to do with the Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo. They're great players. They really are. They're great players. And, Jimmy Butler, playoff Jimmy, it's hard to bet against that guy. He had a terrible game this game, but is he going to have another one? I just think if Jimmy Butler plays his best game and Jason Tatum play his best game, I think Jason Tatum is an overall better player. And I think if Jaylen Brown plays his best game and Bam Adebayo plays his best game, I think Jaylen Brown is a better overall player. And so I just think that Boston, with all the momentum, they're going to have the home crowd. You got the better overall roster. You got the better stars overall. I don't think Boston's going to lose this series. I really don't. And look, I was rooting for Miami. And I don't have a dog in this fight regardless, right? I mean, most of you know I'm a Laker fan, right? I got As It Stands Lakers, got that channel and that whole thing. Like, when the Lakers lost, I was like, man, I'd really love to see Jimmy Butler win an NBA championship. I don't think, even if they do win this series, I don't think they're going to beat Denver. I don't think Boston's going to beat Denver. I think Boston has a better chance, which sucks to say because, again, Laker fan. I wanted Boston to get ran through. One, from the Laker fan inside of me. Two, because Jimmy Butler, come on, man. How do you not root for that guy? How do you not want that guy to go and win it? But this is a legacy game, right? If you're Jimmy Butler, this is it. This is a legacy game. This is just everything that you could hope for. Playoff Jimmy, all this stuff. Game 7, lock in. You've beaten Boston twice in Boston. So if you're Miami, you at least have to feel like, okay, we can do this. We've beaten them twice, right? Like, we're capable of getting this done, right? Like, let's go into Boston. Boston has been terrible at home all playoffs. They've been better on the road than they have been at home this playoffs. So if you're Miami, you at least feel like, okay, we can do this. We can get this done. We have to play great. The problem is that Miami has to play essential perfect basketball. And that's the difference, right? Like, Boston doesn't have to play perfect to win this game because they just have so much talent. They're just so deep. They have so many guys that can beat you on any given night. Miami just goes on these stretches where they just can't score or buy a bucket to save their lives. It's one of those things where you have one team that just is clearly more talented. And talent, in my opinion, is trumping and is what has been the difference so far, right? Is that Boston seems to be making the big plays at the big moments when it matters because they have the guys that can do so, right? Where Miami, it's just like these last 3 games, they haven't played perfect basketball. And 2 of them, they've gotten blown out. Third one, they didn't play very well at all, but all your role players showed up. Your 2 guys that were most important just stayed home, and your role guys showed up and really had themselves a game. But just overall in general, I just don't see Miami being able to pull out. Look, it's one game. Anything could happen, right? Miami could shoot the lights out. Duncan Robinson could go 8 for 8 from 3. Something crazy like Jimmy Butler could go off for 50, right? Like, I'm not saying Miami's dead in the water and that's it. I just look at, again, all the factors, and it's hard for me to say, like, Miami's going to win this series. I hope so. I genuinely do. I genuinely hope we see Miami win Game 7. I really do. And I think that they have a real chance. I just think this just felt like their opportunity. You had to get one stop. You get that stop, you're in the finals. If you don't get that stop, there's your season. It's kind of what this felt like to me. And, you had several breaks kind of go Miami's way down the stretch late. Jimmy Butler hit 3 crucial free throws, take the lead. It's just like, come on, man. You got to get that stop. You got to box out. And you just see Boston just seems to be outworking them. Boston has also been very good with their backs against the wall. It's almost like Boston was better off going down 3-0 than like if it was like 2-2 in the series or something like that, right? Because it's just Boston just seems to step their game up when it's like, oh, this is it, right? And that's what we're seeing here. You're seeing a Boston team that doesn't have to play perfect night in and night out to win, but Miami does. Does Miami have one more perfect game in them to win the series? I don't know. We're going to find out, right? We're going to find out on Monday, and it's going to be a game. Like, this was, again, an incredible game. Great. Especially as just like a basketball fan, as somebody that's just loves and lives and breathes the game of basketball. This was everything you'll want as a basketball fan. If you're a Boston fan, you're through the roof right now. If you're a Miami fan, your heart's in the basement, right? Like it is just such a tough thing for Miami to put themselves in this position. And, the previous two games, okay, I understood it. But this was the game. This was the game. And you had your two stars basically not show up. Again, I expect them to show up next game. I do. I expect Jimmy Butler to very likely have some monster game. I could see him going off for 40 plus and Bam Adebayo going off for 25 or something like that. I just think Boston is still going to be able to beat them even if that happens. I just think you're going to see Jason Tatum. He's going to have the confidence, right? I think he shows up. I think he has some monster game. I just think if at any point Boston gets a significant lead, I think they just kind of start running away with it, especially late, right? I just think Boston, they have everything that you could want. The stage is set for Boston to win, right? Again, more overall talent, better players, bigger stars, home court, momentum, down 3-0, sent it to Game 7, first team ever to play a home game, win down 3-0, and force a Game 7. All of these factors, you just start stacking them up, and it's just, I don't know, it's tough. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion, so I pass the question on to you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What did you think of the game? First off, what do you think? Do you think Miami has a chance? I mean, they have a chance, but do you think Miami's going to win it? Do you think now this was their chance, they blew it? Do you think Boston gets it done? However you feel, whatever your thoughts are, I'd love to hear it. So let me know down in the comment section below.